What is the biggest I shouldn't have said that moment you've ever had right after you said it? Not me, but my boss and I were riding up the elevator. I was 6 months pregnant at the time, and it was obvious, second kid's shoe. There was also another pregnant lady standing right next to me, then another lady who *APPEARED* pregnant. My boss, who is a very nice lady, said, "Oh, look at you three standing there." The one on the end said, "Oh, I'm just fat." Cue exit, stage left. I'm adopted. I was in trouble and told my mom she couldn't punish me because she isn't my real mom. The look on her face made me feel worse than any punishment. I told the toddlers at my work whilst in the yard. Fun fact, some people eat snails like that one. Cue me running around stopping children under my care from eating snails. My neighbor was telling me the story about how he and his ex-wife split up. Weeks after the divorce, she got married to his best friend and they moved a few states away. I said, "One man's trash is another man's treasure." He did not think it was as funny as I did. I saw some dumb 2007 meme that said, "Hey, man, thanks for not being a meth addict." I said it to my youth pastor cause I was a dumb teen. He replied, "It wasn't easy getting away from it, that's for sure, but I'm glad I'm here." My friend asked who directed the movie we were about to see. I replied, "Your mom." It was her first time out of the house since her mom was murdered. My mom was in hospital. As it turns out, she would never leave the hospital, but at this stage she was sick, but not that sick. She had a private room with a little enclosed garden outside. She had a blue-tongued lizard who lived in the garden, and she would pass her long days watching the lizard scurry around and catch bugs and lazing in the sun. She would tell us every time we visited what the lizard had been up to, the funny things it had done, and made her smile during the day. She lit up when telling me about its adventures. One day when I came in to visit, the blue tongue was out the front of her room in the car park. It had been hit by a car and killed. I went to visit mum, and she was very sad. She hadn't seen her friend the lizard all day. I said to her, "Oh yeah, I saw him out in the car park. He won't be back. He got run over by a car." As soon as I said it, I tried to suck the words back in, but I couldn't. Her face crashed. She was crushed. I tried to say maybe it was another lizard, or that her lizard would be back, but it was no good. The damage was done. A week later she died. She had been in the hospital for 3 months, and was getting better, they thought. But this day, she just died. They thought she had just given up. That was in 1996, 22 and a bit years ago. And I still wake from sleep thinking about that. I still shudder every time I recall how stupid I had been. I'm now a 50-year-old man and I can never and will never forgive myself for that stupid statement. It still makes me cry. Business school interview over Skype. They were very interested in a global conference I was helping organize and suddenly asked, "What would you do in the event of a terrorist attack?" Blanked out. First thing out of my mouth was, "Well, the event's going to be a *bomb*. I didn't get in. Blind date. Your jacket looks like one of those beanliners with the yellow pull string. It really did. I didn't mean it negatively. My boss used to take the piss out of my long hair. I'm a metal bloke. So I gave that speech from With Nail and I about hair aerials. They transmit information from the cosmos directly to your brain. This is the reason bald-headed men are uptight. My boss was a little uptight bald man. I swear he was almost going to spark me out. Asked one of my best friends what she was getting for her father on Father's Day. Her father, who had died of cancer 1 month ago at the most. I never heard of the rapper XXXTentacion before. When he died, a friend of mine posted on some social media "RIP XXXTentacion," and I thought it was some porn site going offline, and my friend really wanted to express his love. So I replied, "Lol bro, rip." Some other friends said, "Well, that's harsh. Why would you say that?" To which I, still thinking porn, replied again, "Cause who cares? There are other ones out there." Turns out there was a lot of shady polemics around the rapper, and a bunch of people I know started arguing after me. Some calling me sick for praising someone's death no matter who. Others calling me a hero for standing up against BULLS***T rappers or something. It was a whole thing between the lot of them. And I was just thinking porn, you know? I made someone cry by accident. A friend of mine told me her grandmother passed away recently and how much she was struggling to cope with that. So, later that day we were discussing about a school related project with some other friends. We were not going to finish our project before the deadline, so I jokingly said, well, what if we pretend someone's family member died and that's why we couldn't focus that well? Right after saying that I looked at my friend who began to tear up a bit. I immediately thought, OS *** teeth, that's right. I'm an idiot. Me and my friends were having a group photo session for prom at one of our houses. Everyone's parents were there taking photos of their daughters or sons with the dates they had. I was going alone, and one of the parents asked me who I was going with. I immediately blurted out my right hand. Dads were holding back laughter. Moms were standing there shocked. Good times all round. Sitting in the bus with my crush. Behind the window she notices billboard with some exclusive underwear ad. And I said that I cannot really imagine her in it. In my middle school music class we were studying the Underground Railroad. Our teacher asked us to name famous African Americans from the period. My hand goes up. Now I had the image of Harriet Tubman in my mind. I still have no idea why I said what I was about to. Teacher calls on me. I answer, Martha Stewart. Class roars with laughter. My brother got a TWOFA when our grandmother had her leg amputated. We went to visit her the day after. During the conversation we were talking about how expensive the hospital visits can be, and without thinking he said to her, I bet this visit is going to cost you an arm and a leg. Not even 5 minutes later he asked about the recovery time, but phrased it like how long will it take you to get back on your feet. Thankfully my family has a warped sense of humor and we just laughed at this. Congratulations on graduating. I didn't graduate. The rest of the class had graduated. She had failed a module. Oops. When asked in a job interview why I didn't want to continue working with children, I blurted out that I love my own, but other people's kids are ***TS. Instant terror inside at my own idiocy. Still got the job. Guess she agreed. Walked in on my wife eating candy and asked her how her diet was going. We had this old lady who worked in the office of my uni. She was an absolute B****ch to everyone and everything. Rude and clearly hated her job, but she was in control of things like the fax machine. I had a long application for a job that took a year back in college. I was always sending faxes of important files and had to deal with her regularly. Every single time she gave me ***T, yelled at me for putting the papers the wrong way, yelled at me for telling her she was putting the papers in the wrong way, yelled at me for interrupting her work. Finally, one day I came in and she was yelling at a student for something. He left in a huff. She sat down and I came to ask to use the fax. As I'm asking, she puts her finger in my face and starts a call to her friend or something. I see a girl on the seats waiting, and I look at her and mouth, what a ***ch. That's my mom, she says. I went to my uncle's funeral a couple of days ago. As we were about to leave to go to it, we were wondering what family would be there. Without thinking I said, I wonder if Uncle Steve will be there. That's who the funeral was for. Two teachers in the staff room talking about a pretty hot female member of support staff. One says yeah, she was getting smashed by this trainee teacher for a bit, then he beamed her off and she kept pestering him afterwards. Right, bunny boiler apparently. I just stared at him wide-eyed until he noticed the senior staff member, who is the mother of said support staff, sat right next to us. He looked like he was going to pass out. One classmate was talking about her dislike for dogs, so naturally I, with a joking tone, asked what dog bit you? My brother and I worked at a fast food restaurant. The one type of new burger we served took 15 minutes to cook, though so often we would have to tell customers and suggest they find a table to wait if they were willing. Well, my brother was working cash and this person in a wheelchair decided to wait. My brother was like, it'll be a while for it to be done. I'll bring it to your table when it's ready. If you just want to take a seat, sir. I mean pull up a chair. I mean ***T. One of my best friends accidentally killed her puppy by stepping on it. Months later I asked if she wanted to give the pet owning another shot, but maybe take a bigger dog, just in case. I shouldn't have said that. She was heartbroken and didn't talk to me for months. When I was 7 years old I was hanging out with my sister and her friend. Her friend had really bad acne. They were about 16 years old. I remember looking at her friend and asking, "What are those bumps all over your face?" She walked away crying shortly after. I felt really bad knowing I hurt her feelings, but not knowing how. I had the almost that same thing happen to me when I was an acne covered teen. Made me laugh thinking about it. I was once getting a fine for jaywalking. The cop was going on about safety and how it's for my own good. He says, "Why do you think we're doing this?" as a rhetorical question. Me being me and having a bad habit of answering rhetorical questions, I said revenue raising. The cop, my friend, and I all kinda just had a look on our faces of did that just happen? The cop asked me what I said and I was like, "Oh, nothing," and he knew exactly what I said and proceeded to go on a rant about it. This was said by my husband, but I could see the look on his face. I was 9 months pregnant. We went grocery shopping when we saw another pregnant lady, and I said, "Oh, she's wearing the same pregnancy pants as I do." My husband looked at me in disbelief and answered, "Really? Well, hers must be a way smaller size then." I think I was mad at him for 4 days. I'd apologized to a person who replied with, "We can be friends again." Afterwards I let out the most unenthusiastic, sarcastic little Yahweh. The silence wasn't encouraging. I made a joke about how my newborn cousin died because Mother Nature was giving his mother a second chance to pick a better name, and I still hate myself for even thinking it to begin with. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.